Greetings, peace, and bliss to all of you. Welcome to another series of Ask the Licensed Contractor. Oh, that's where I need to look. Hey, been at this thing for about a month and I still hadn't got it. So you see my eyes are wandering. It's because I'm looking straight, thinking that I'm looking into the camera, but I'm not, as that little green light. Nevertheless, welcome again to another ANSOTH hour. Ask the licensed contractor. All right. Um, I hope that you're having a marvelous Wednesday, a marvelous week. Today is Wednesday. It's Hump Day, and we are coming to you live with another hour of inspiration, knowledge, and answers, to your questions that you might have, just want to connect. Oh, and by the way, I am Brother Tenka. Okay. I'm the founder and CEO of ANSOTH, which stands for New Society on the Horizon. We are a community driven real estate development company, right? And our mission is clear. We want to transform undeserved neighborhoods into thriving, self-sustaining communities through land acquisition, revitalization, and community ownership. That's the only way to go in my book, okay? And through this platform, we look forward to engaging and sharing knowledge and addressing the real question that matters to our community, all right? And so like they say, JSU, thee I love, the capital city, thee I love. And we're going to make it better. All right. Just do a little housekeeping. We definitely want to always encourage our brothers and sisters to go out and purchase a blighted property, right? And if you can't do it alone, then do it with a family member. Pull your resources together, get with family members, and purchase property. Your family members, cousins, get you with your homeboys, your homegirls, and whatnot, and go out and let's buy up the city. Now, there's one reason and one reason only why other ethnic groups are winning. That reason is simply because we haven't even entered the race. Think about that. The only reason that other ethnic groups are winning is because we have not entered the race. And so understand that the capital city is 82% new Africans out of a population of 140, 150,000, maybe more. Could be less, but we are 80% of the population, 82% at last count. That's about 2 years ago. And we have the power. We just got to flip that switch on, right? There are estimated 4,200 blighted properties in the capital city. Okay. And we can really flip the switch on this situation. We can become real estate enthusiasts, right? We can do that. We can create generational wealth like you would never, ever, you can imagine how much potential the city of Jackson has when we just simply talking about the hood, right? So much potential, okay? And the one thing that we need to do is stop putting spells on ourselves, talking about what we ain't gonna do, what they ain't gonna do, right? We need to stop that because it's a spell, and that's why we haven't been doing more than we have been doing. And granted, there's a lot of brothers and sisters out there killing it. They're doing it, right? But what we can do collectively, right, as compared to what we're doing individually, it does not even compare. And so, yeah, we got some businesses going on, We got this going on, but in comparison, what we can do and can achieve together, it doesn't even compare to what we're already doing. Okay. So just want to encourage our people to stop saying what we ain't gonna do, what they ain't gonna do. You're talking to people and they say, and you tell them about your ideas. That's why you want to be careful and who you share your ideas with, who you share just certain information with, because people can discourage you, and if you are weak-minded, they'll stop you from getting your bag, right? I have a brother. I ain't gonna tell you who he is, but if I'm thinking about something and I want to see whether or not I'm committed to it, I just give him a call and say, "Hey, bro, my brother Mike, I'm thinking about such and such and such and such and such and such." And boy, I tell you, once he finished, if I was not really committed to the work that I'm doing, he would have shut me down long time ago. He would have burnt the ship. But and sometimes we need people like that in our lives to say, hey, just test to see whether or not you are really serious about what you plan to do. But nevertheless, and so what we want to do is what I want to do at this time is that encourage us to spread the word that, hey, Jackson is for sale. Okay. Jackson is for sale. And we've got to understand this, right? We got to get into the game. So this going live is all about the blight. It's about community revitalization, but there is a pandemic, right? And let's say it's an epidemic in the city of Jackson concerning blighted properties. And I know we got to be tired of looking at things as seeing things for how they are right now. We've got to be tired of looking at that. So if you are tired of looking at it, if you're tired of seeing dilapidated properties, vacant properties, and all this stuff next door to you or down the street or around the block from you, you need to get involved, right? And if you want some help in getting involved, all you have to do is go to www.ansoth. That's www.ansoth.com, and just fill out the little form, and we will connect with you. Now, granted, give us a little time because we are in the process of switching over our system to where we are creating this funnel. My IT person, my beloved daughter Lucretia, she's on. Listening in, watching the viewing. She's the IT person. And peace and love, Lucretia. We also got my sister Queen Catrice on. Greetings, Queen. We appreciate you coming in and viewing with us to hear what we got to say, and we're going to keep it going. All right, so we are present on Facebook, well, as you know, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So we want you to like, comment, share, follow us, so that we can build up momentum and we can get this thing together. All right. So before we get rolling, I want to talk about our conscious construction curriculum. All right. What is that? What is it about? What benefit is it about that curriculum? And we'll just do an overbrief of it. And and before I do that, I want to share with you all, I know you heard me say New African, and Hey, that word New African is is something to behold, right? And but let me do this. Let me just go on into our overview about this conscious construction curriculum. Okay, now this curriculum is designed for real estate enthusiasts. It's designed that under the proper guidance and leadership, which is right here. Um, I can get an individual that's serious, that's really serious in the upper five digits, you know, generating income through real estate, and more importantly, to build equity. That's just like cash that you don't have to pay taxes on, but yet you can still use it, right? And to give you some idea of how that looks is that one of the first thing that we would have the individual to do if they want to really become a real estate enthusiast is to we'll have them to pull their credit report, all right, because your signature is going to greatly determine how fast you can move. And so you get that credit report, look over it, and anything bad on it, you want to have it removed or take care of it. And so I think good credit score, and the bank can lend you money. I know it varies. The lower your credit score, the lower your credit score is, the more interest you're going to pay. So it behooves you to increase your credit score. But I think we're somewhere around about 650. If you got a 650 or better, you can more than likely get a loan from the bank. Okay, 650, and again, the higher you go, the better, the greater your chances of getting that loan. All right. So now, after you've gotten your credit score together, and all along, you're going to be looking at property that interests you. All right. You're going to be looking at that property that interests you. And then at the same time, you want to kind of be saving dollars. So if you want to know, what so the bank is roughly expecting 25% of the total deal, 25% for if you're just buying the house or the property, they want 25%. Now you can also do deals to where you can buy the house and then also they give you a little bit more money to renovate it, right? Because I've already told you previously that the bank is in the business of selling money, selling capital, okay? And as a real estate enthusiast, your access to capital is imperative. It's going to determine how quickly you can move up the ladder, if you're defining your success in terms of dollars, right? It's going to weigh heavily. Now, there are other deals um, that you can do, creative ways that you can do in order to acquire property. But um, we can get in that to another time. But one of the so back to the curriculum, this conscious construction curriculum. There are 6 pillars, okay, and I've got little intros to each of those pillars. That first pillar is awakening the mind, and this is a consciousness shift, because the reason that blight is what it is because of the way we think collectively, right? um, because we think the way that we do, then, and I'm saying speaking collectively, things are the way they are in places where we are a majority of the population. Okay, and and let me be honest. When we talk about blight, the first time that I heard that word blight, It wasn't on the news because I rarely watch the daily news and things of that nature. Now, I do, view a lot of things on Facebook and, social media and things like that. But, uh, okay, Teresa, got you. You say NACA also, NACA allows rehab home also. Okay, that's great to know. All right, that's a great thing. That's a powerful thing to know. And when you get a chance, put what NACA is, ANACA, and whatnot. All right. But anyway, where was I? Uh, let's see, where was I? But mm, mm, mm. Um, I forgot what I was saying. That's why I don't try and not read all of the captions there. But nevertheless, so awakening the mind is the first pillar of the conscious construction curriculum. Now, why is that important? And as I said, oh, I know what I was talking about. I was telling you about the blight when I first heard of that terminology, blight. And I knew that I heard it from someplace. And now this is just straight talk, right? This is, uh, you can agree or you don't have to agree, okay? But when I first heard of blight, my homeboy, Walt, we was talking about something and he was saying about I was telling him what I was doing, and he was saying something about blight, and it kind of struck me. I said, I know that word, uh, but it's about vacant properties and people leave and boarded up houses. You got lots that's grown over, a lot of overgrowth, and whatnot, and it's like economic deprivation or something like that. So that's blight, right? And it swung me. And the last time I knew, it was called white flight. That's really what it is. And really, blight typically is what happens when Caucasians move out of an area, and then what follows is the property value tends to go down, right? It's called white flight. And that's when you have an area that is populated with other ethnic groups, Caucasians, and they start moving out. They leave, right? And so what follows, typically speaking, is a blighted area. Give you a great example of what I'm saying. At one point or another, when the Jackson Medical Mall used to be an actual mall where people came to, all right, the area around the Jackson Medical Mall were predominantly white, Caucasians, all right. And then after they left and they started leaving, okay, those businesses, okay, I got your trees, Neighborhood Association Corporation of America, NACA. That's what NACA is, NACA, NACA, Neighborhood Assistant Corporation of America. So check them out, see what programs they have, and then see where it can benefit you. Appreciate you, Queen. All right, so when the Caucasians started leaving out of the area, and the businesses subsequently left out of the area, okay, uh, and the businesses in the medical and in the Jackson Mall, those businesses left out, then the economy took a downward, uh, started to go down. All right, that is white flight. And now you see in that area a lot of blighted houses. Okay. And that is because the economic base for the most part, which was more targeted. You had the Woolworth, Sunflower, you had all these businesses and all these people that supported these businesses. When you know our Caucasians left out of those areas, and then now we're a majority of the population, we didn't keep it up. We didn't have the finances. And there's not just one thing that contributes that causes blight. It's a multitude of things, right? Okay, there's a multitude of things, but nevertheless, it is what it is now. You go down on Bailey Avenue and you see a lot of abandoned properties. You go over into the neighborhoods. It's in these are neighborhoods that I grew up in. Over there, the Jackson Medical Mall in that area, Prosperity Street, right? Yeah, that's what we would normally call white flight, but now, it's blighted. It's blighted area. But and really, it should not be like that. It should not be that when another ethnic group leaves an area, then the property tends to go down. You know what that's an indication of? That's directly related to, the policies that have been placed in those areas and the people. Okay, it's a combination, right? And so now we're seeing the same thing over on County Line. How now, County Line used to be the thing to be. North Park used to be the thing to be, right? And even before North Park, there was the Metro Center. Around in those areas, the Metro Center at its pinnacle was mostly Caucasians. And when they left out, and the people there did not keep it up, and there was policies that went against economic development, right? You see all the restaurants that were there over there by the the Metro Center. Those places are gone. But it's because one ethnic group, well, it's really not because of the ethnic group. It is because the people that are in the area and the people that controls the area and the people that are responsible for it, for the, for finance and all these things. It's a multitude of things. Now you see the Metro Center as it is. Now they're supposed to be doing some revitalization over there, and I forgot that celebrity that's got it now. But look, it took someone of another ethnicity to come in and say, "Hey, I want to do something here." Shame, 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 shame. All right. So, but that's what it is. That's what it has come to. And now look at those areas of town over by the Metro Center. Right? It's a blighted area. But guess what's on the way? County Line. Now, the beauty of that, or the savior of that, is because it's in Ridgeland. Is it Ridgeland? Right. So on one side you got Jackson, on the other side you got Ridgeland. So there may be some saving grace there. But on the side where Jackson is, y'all gone through there? That place also is a white flight. We being real, man. Being real. They left, took their dollars, and the businesses that are there, they're no longer there. The businesses were closed. We went in and bought up their houses. But now it too is slowly becoming a blighted area. And so somewhere along here, we've got to stop it right where it is, depending on other ethnic groups to do for us what we should be doing for ourselves. Oh man. I mean, it's not enough to say, hey, let's get this money together and go and buy this house up, buy this house up. You got to have a holistic approach to it, right? You got to have a holistic approach to this blight issue. And if you're not talking about awakening the mind of the people, educating the people, you're going to be catching headaches, right? You're going to be the cap rate is going to be real high. You're going to have some high rent, but you're going to be spending that money in repairs. So there's something else that has to happen before we go in and try and willy-nilly it, right? We've got to do something on a collective level. Instead of you going in and purchase one house, you need to go in and purchase the whole street. And you need to be active in that area. You need to show love, respect, and some patience, right? Because you're gonna find out, right? But anyway, and I'm not, I just got to tell it real. So there has to be an awakening of the mind that goes along with it as we fight blight. There has to be awakenings, and that's a consciousness shift. We've got to change the way we think. Because if we're not changing the way we think, the very thing that we're fighting against is going to beat us down. All right. So awakening the mind, and part of this awakening the mind, right, is understanding, right, is who we are. Who are you? Who are we? Right? And I say that we are new Africans, and people, they take offense of that. And you have a lot of people that saying, we were already here. We're not from Africa. And the reason that I bring this up is because it's like this. You have to understand what we are fighting. We are fighting an identity crisis, right? A tree without its roots cannot stand, right? And so we have to look at it, and we've got to come to the understanding that we are, in fact, a nation of people. And if we recognize that we are a nation of people, then as a nation of people, we have to be responsible for correcting those things that needs to be corrected within our nation, within our ethnic group. We are, in fact, a nation within a nation. It's no different from the children of Israel, according to the Bible. When they were in Egypt, right, they had all sorts of kind of jobs, right? And we know, according to the scripture, how Joseph ended up in Egypt. His brother sold him off into slavery. You know what? When I want to understand some things about me, about our people, there's so many stories or accounts in the Bible where, according to the scripture, where God dealt with the people. And all you have to do is really put yourself inside of that and say, ooh, that's me. Anytime there's something to be learned that's in the Bible and you see yourself paralleling with that, all you have to do is say, ooh, that's kind of the situation I'm in, or that's kind of the situation that we in, right? And there goes your answer. And so what I'm saying, that we are a nation of people, and it is incumbent upon us to look at things in that way. It is no difference, and we get told, we get not just told, we get shown all the time that, hey, you're only an American on paper. Because we know for a fact that if, going back to January 16th, if there was a bunch of people that looked like you and I, we would not live to talk about it. We would not be out of jail. we'd be in jail rotten if we even made it to the jail. Immediate execution. And so America has always come to the aid of its people. That's the role of the government, to come to the aid of the people. Now, you tell me when have, for us, and what has happened to us as a people, how many times have we been awarded something exclusively for us, where other people could not identify with it? But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But the point is this: the children of Israel, even though they were in Egypt, they recognized themselves as a separate people. You know, they were law enforcers, they were accountants, they held public office, they were in the military, they had restaurants, they were money exchangers, they had all of these. And it was Joseph that had some of the most highest rank in the office, but he recognized that he was of a different nation. So there was a nation inside of a nation. And so as the scripture goes, you know, there came a time when the king did not know Joseph. And that was over a 400-year period, where all the things that Joseph did, that was in the past. And now the king was like, listen, you know, you Israelite people, y'all got to get up out of here. You got to get up out of here and whatnot. Okay. So the point that I'm making, and I want to make 2 points before I go in, but what I'm talking about is that we have got to change the way that we see things, the way we understand things, because if we don't change, then we're going to always get what we have got. You want to change your condition, change your mind first. All right. So that part of the conscious construction is talking about who we are as a people. And so you can identify as whatever you want, but know that, and for those of you that say that you're not African, well, you just take a DNA test. So a New Africans is an amalgamation of people from various African nations, all right, that were brought here to North America against their will, time, and the unique gene pool, because we have white ancestry too. That's just fact. Okay. The experience that we've had here in America, that experience has forged a new people, hence what we call New African. That's it. Okay. And so it behooves us to understand that that's the, you know, whose team we are on, right? And so that is the thing that we are dealing with and have always dealt with. But so the thing of it is that we have got to now identify who we are, because it's going to get fuzzy and you're going to get thrown off track if you're not understanding this. So the other part of the conscious community, the conscious construction, is you got to see the vision. Because when you see the vision, there's going to be strategies. You got to do make some strategic. You got to be strategically aware of what causes this. You know, you got a leak on the roof. You see a wet spot in your ceiling. You know, if you understand something about roofing, the hole could be feet away from its entrance into the house through the ceiling. But you have to understand that you have to be aware of that in order to find out what the culprit is. Could be bad weather, where every time it rains a shingle flips up and water gets in it, or that a shingle is missing. So you got to get out there and you got to find out what is the cause of that water mark